Hey everyone, Csaba here from Game of Conversions, and welcome to the second part of breaking down Stefan Georgi's Stem Cell Restore sales letter. So this is actually the 99th edition of my 100-day proven sales letter breakdown series, and if you haven't watched my previous videos before, I definitely recommend you to check out the entire playlist. I'm going to leave a link to the description, in the description section, to the entire playlist, and also obviously part 1 of this breakdown, because in the last video, which is already like 1 hour long, we covered so many things in this mammoth long, almost 60-page long sales letter. And don't be confused by this 1.1 per 16. This is just the PDF. This was made by the PDF capture software that I used on the web page. These are not normal pages. These are way longer than traditional pages. But the sales page itself, 60 pages long. And yesterday we got until the product reveal itself, which is here. So it's called Stem Cell Restore. As you can see, almost at the halfway mark. And this is a great example of how, most long form sales letters, they build up a lot of emotional appeal. They tell stories. They provide a lot of proof. They make a bunch of promises, and then they prove it with proof elements. And only then do they introduce the product itself. And by the time it's introduced, it's almost like a messiah or something, right? It's at this point, people, they crave it, they want it, they want a solution, because we've agitated their pain so many times, and we've made such a strong case for why they actually should care about this whole topic. That's why long form copy still works really well, and it outconverts short form copy, because it's just like your one-on-one sales conversation multiplied infinitely on the internet. So just a very, very, very quick recap. But again, if you want more details, I definitely recommend go watch part 1 of the video, link below, to know what's going on. We analyze the entire headline complex here, then how we have a master lead, which basically builds a lot of desire in people, builds a lot of curiosity to them. It establishes this unique new opportunity of basically almost rewinding the aging process with this time capsule in a bottle. So the whole thing that's happening here is establishing a unique new opportunity that's happening that actually has happened in a relatively secretive type of scientific meeting, and then how the powers that be want to squash it, how A-list celebrities and world-class athletes are already tapping into this secret, and they're shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars for it. But now there is a unique new opportunity that allows you, the average Joe, the conservative target market and customer avatar that this is aimed at, to also experience all the life-altering benefits of stem cell research therapy. In a sense, just activating your stem cells to heal your body. And all in all, this is actually selling a supplement, okay? But because this is such a crowded market, and the market sophistication of this audience is so high, meaning that they've been exposed to so many ads before, and their stage of awareness is pretty low in the sense that they probably not even know about the brand that this sales page belongs to. That's the reason why we need long form copy, and that's the reason why we need all these elements. And then the sales page shifts into just explaining the unique new opportunity more, building up the authority of Lee Euler, who is the voice, who is the brand image behind this product. Obviously, Stefan Georgi wrote the copy, but Lee Euler is like so-called the guru who is the brand voice here, and he shares his own personal nightmare story of his mom dying, and we got a lot of so-called reason why elements behind creating the product itself, behind actually doing something about this. And then we get exposed more and more. We get sucked into more and more into the promise of stem cell therapy, and how it's it can help your damaged heart cells, your brain cells, your bones and joint cells. It's basically this miracle cure type of thing, or as close to it as possible. There's even a little part here in the beginning which says that it doesn't just rewind the aging process, or it doesn't just pause the aging process, it rewinds it, okay? And it's like the closest we'll ever get to a real life fountain of youth. So it is pretty exciting, pretty cool. A lot of proof elements happening here, some content pieces as well. So at this point, you know, we also want to teach people stuff. We also want to give away some tips and to help them get, you know, sucked more and more into our world. Because if you can make your sales letter itself valuable, then they're gonna care more about it, and the more they read, the more they buy. So as you can see, there's many things going on here, and I don't have time to cover it once again. Check out the video for part 1. But we get basically a lot of proof elements and a lot of promises just side by side all the time. How, you know, there are some corporate fat cats, and obviously the big pharma doesn't want you to know about this because it would eat into their profits, and a lot of more details regarding this unique new opportunity and how the celebrities are spending $100,000 on it, or even more. But today you don't have to spend that much, not at all, not even 500, right? So then we have eventually a segue, and then finally on like at the halfway mark, we get introduced to Stem Cell Restore, the product itself, with a big hero image here. And we got a little like overview of what it is, and it basically recaps all the things that we've covered so far, with a few benefits of what it actually does for you. And then we have a little element that circles back to the pre-head itself by saying each capsule is like a tiny time machine in your hand. Because in the beginning we had like a time capsule in a bottle, right? It's a subtle little analogy that makes it easier for people to understand. So then, because obviously there's a lot of things going on in the sales letter, we remind people of the unique new opportunity here. And we just also remind them how this can help them solve their biggest pain points, their most common biggest pain points. And these are all pain points that are very common in this target audience, you know, older, conservative leaning people who have health problems but have a lot of money. They're worried about getting old, and you know, Stefan Georgi just said it beautifully here. Like these are things that they probably said like themselves, and he got these details from the research. So you know, these people, they are worried about getting old. They're worried that, you know, the days of the past, those glorious days are over, and then they will never be able to live let's just say a youthful life once again. They won't be able to enjoy time with their families anymore, their grandchildren, stuff like that, you know, regarding all the things that they never get to do in life. Like, I don't know, maybe take exotic vacations, but now they can still do it if they turn around. And our product actually is the catalyst, is the key to helping them turn around. And that's why we paint a dream, a little dream here, saying that, hey, this is how your life is going to look like. By the way, I definitely encourage you to read this sales letter because it's really good. It's long, but you're gonna learn so much about copywriting. And then if you have the time for it, the best would actually be to watch this video, and obviously with part 1 first, but watch the video in one tab, and then the other tab just have the sales letter and read it as I cover certain areas. You're gonna get a world-class copywriting masterclass that by doing that way. And let me tell you something, most copywriters or marketers or business owners would never do this. If you do it, you're immediately catapulting yourself way above your competition because other people are lazy. They're not willing to do it. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. Maybe you already know these things or you don't care about it that much. It's totally fine. I mean, it's gonna be there later as well. But that's the key. That's the shortcut. This is the shortcut. If you want your marketing messages to be higher converting, make more money, make more revenue, stuff like that. So. Eventually, after just giving a high-level overview of what the product is and what it can do, and just reminding people of a few key objections, like how we're answering actually their objections by saying that this has no artificial colors, no soy, no gluten, and obviously it's made in the United States, state-of-the-art facility, and also later on we're going to have an objection handling element that says that there's no fetuses involved in this, because a lot of stem cell research involves experimenting on like unborn children or abortions or stuff like that. And this target market that we're writing to, conservative, many times Christian people, obviously they don't like it. So you gotta definitely just soothe their fears in this regard. And Stefan Georgi did a great job actually doing that. So at this point, we kind of position the product itself as like the future is now. So he says stem cells were once considered the future of medicine. Now you can support your body's natural ability to produce them itself. So it's pretty cool because it once again goes back to the unique new mechanism. And this is, simple and easy. It's basically a magic pill that you can use, or as close as possible to the magic pill, because remember, people do want the magic pill. And here are all the benefits that you get. Like it's gonna turn back your body's internal clock, and you're gonna live a healthier life and stuff like that. So at this point, we could get into the sales part itself, the closing section, but we're not doing that actually. And most copywriters, especially after like tens of pages, would probably do it, but not Stefan Georgi. He is the master of long form sales copy, because we haven't talked about the ingredients yet in this proprietary blend. And it's very important to highlight those ingredients because we've built up so much credibility and proof around these ingredients, and all the studies that we mentioned, they basically they talk about the ingredients, but only now do we actually just blow the lid off the ingredients themselves. Until now, actually, we just talked about their effect, their benefits, their secret, and their end results, right? But now we're also going to mention what's inside. So we have a little official looking label here of the 5 stem cell activating ingredients, and then we're going to list the 5 ingredients, and in great Clayton Makepeace fashion, we are progressive as we move forward. Each ingredient is going to have less and less and less copy dedicated for it, because that way we can create an illusion of making progress for people. So they're not gonna feel like this is becoming a chore, and it's like they're not really making progress, and this just turns into a scientific paper that nobody wants to read. So the first one, Icarin, which is basically horny goat weed. You might have heard about it before. It's basically, people discovered it by seeing that if goats eat those types of grasses, they become horny. But we're writing to a Christian audience or a right-leaning audience. Obviously, this would destroy credibility, let's say. So that's why we just use the more scientific name for it, Icarin. Same thing, but it's just positioning, right? But anyway, getting back to my point, we have like a lot of copy dedicated for ingredient number 2. As you can see, I'm still scrolling, and then we get to ingredient number 2, resveratrol. We get like 3/4 of it. Then we get ingredient number 3, and look at it. It's like, it's not that long at all. It's like 1 page, 1.5 pages. And then we get ingredients 4 and 5 grouped together even. And this one's really short. Like it's like 1 page in total. So it's really, really short. And this is intentional because we don't want people to feel like, they're not making progress. We want them to actually feel like, oh wow, I'm almost at the end, and it feels like I'm actually accelerating with the consumption of this piece, which again makes them consume more of the copy, and the more copy they consume, the more likely they are to convert. Easy peasy. But these ingredients, they're kind of like features for this supplement. And most supplements offers have a version of this, like all the ingredients listed out. The only question is whether those ingredients are listed out earlier or later. In this case, it's later because I think Stefan felt that it was more important to just showcase the unique mechanism part of the problem and the solution as well. How, the problem why you're aging is because your stem cells are also aging with you. But if you can, produce more stem cells, that's the unique mechanism of the problem, then you can basically maybe even reverse your aging and obviously delay many ailments that old people have here. And we needed a lot of real estate for copy to establish these things, to share the personal stories and the reason why behind creating this product. And then before actually giving them the option to buy, we still want to build up the value by including these ingredients. And each of these ingredient sections, they have an overview section. They have a lot of proof. So this one, Icarin, since obviously we talked about this, the effects of Icarin, first and foremost in the copy here, especially when citing the studies here, they probably have the biggest effect on stem cells. That's why we dedicate the most real estate to this first ingredient. But as you can see, there are now over 60 scientific studies showing that Icarin supports the production of adult repair stem cells. So there you go. A lot of proof, a lot of specific examples. Icarin repairs damaged kidneys in live animal study and increases stem cells by an amazing 500%. So we have some claims there, but always backed up by proof. And we have those little, markings here for, like you can see it here, for the 500%. And if we scroll right to the bottom, you can see that there are actually scientific references here, right? So these also act as proof elements of like scientific proof. So it's not just empty promises, it's all scientific papers published, peer-reviewed scientific journals. Obviously, like, they can be biased, so oftentimes these are correlational studies, and that doesn't mean that this was the cause of having more adult stem cell research, but they coincide with more adult stem cell research. Hope this makes sense. It's more like a scientific thing, but I studied this at the university, and I was really fascinated by it because it's so easy to make these out of context claims, and if you want to be really, really scientific, you got to make sure that correlation doesn't equal causation, and you're really, really careful with this. So as you can see, we have a lot of scientific studies here intertwined with promises. That's also very important. We don't want to make this whole sales letter part, like this part, turn into like a boring scientific fast love, like just a collection of studies, because people will tune out and they will never get to the order form itself, and we want them to get to the order form. So but it's at the same time we also want to like overwhelm them with proof, and that's why we have all these studies. And look at this, we also have like scientific looking pictures here, a picture of adult stem cells in bone marrow, like how they work. And as people see this, they're like, okay, like this is a great case of a picture is worth 1,000 words. It shows image A, stem cells 1 day after adding Icarin, 5 days after adding Icarin, and 10 days after adding Icarin. And all throughout the sales letter, we're basically seeding the idea of people buying more. And we're rationalizing this by saying that, hey, taking this for a few days, it's kind of a minimum. Taking this for 30 days is kind of okay-ish, but if you really want to get the most of this, you should definitely take this for like 100 days or 4 or 5 months even, because that's when you see the best results. So we're seeding the idea of buying the higher tier version so that the company can make more money for each customer, so that they can spend more on ads and lead generation, so that the numbers have to make sense here, right? If the average order value is higher, and even the lifetime customer value is higher eventually, then they can afford to buy customers at a more expensive price, which means they can outprice their competitors in this regard, because eventually nobody's gonna be able to afford the acquisition cost of getting a customer if they don't have high average order values. This is more like marketing related stuff, not necessarily copywriting, but it's very important to also keep this in mind, because they're super close together. Strategic marketing and direct response copywriting, they're bread and butter basically, and the greatest copywriters are always great marketing minds. So this goes on for some time, and then we get to ingredient number 2, resveratrol, which kind of, I like how Stefan says here that you've probably heard that drinking 1 glass of red wine per day is healthy, and that's thanks to resveratrol. So again, we immediately introduce the idea, because most people have heard this, oh, drink red wine because it's healthy. Well, it's not necessarily the wine that's healthy apparently, but it's one compound in it. It's resveratrol, and this is like rocket fuel for your adult repair stem cells. And this is a claim, and here's a big study that backs it up. And check this out. It even says that, and this assumes that most people in the target audience, they might have heard about resveratrol before, because remember, this market, their market sophistication is high, which means that they have been exposed to many versions of ads before, and everybody's trying to pitch this audience of all sorts of crap, right? And their bullshit detectors are up, and they might have read several other sales pages from competitors as well, and they might have heard about resveratrol as well. So the problem is that, how do you answer the objection of oh, okay, I've heard that before? Well, you say that, the reason why you haven't experienced success before with this is because you took too much of this thing. Because at this point, people are like, oh, I tried resveratrol, it didn't work, so this probably won't work for me. Well, you tried, it was too high of a dosage. Now, according to this study in Nature, you need low dosage of resveratrol. Okay, that's the problem. So notice how we're having these mini unique mechanism of the problems here, and then unique mechanism of the solutions. And it's very powerful. It's very powerful. So even more studies, how, it can help you with stroke, it can help you with all sorts of stuff. Just look at the benefits. Like, it helps support healthy cholesterol levels, that will have your doctor smiling from ear to ear. What a nice example of show, don't tell, in which you want to paint mental pictures in people with your copy. So this resveratrol also supports a healthy cellular inflammatory response, supports healthy C-reactive protein, it helps lower your blood sugar levels, and yada, yada, yada. So a lot of benefits, reminding people of all the benefits. Then we got introduced to grapeseed extract, which I've seen before in several other of these promotions. This is ingredient number 3, and I like how Stefan included a nice little analogy here. So check it out. After grapes are crushed for wine or juice, they're left with the seeds, and most of the time, manufacturers simply throw these seeds out in the trash. It turns out that's a lot like keeping oysters but throwing out the pearl, because new research is finding that one of the main compounds inside grape seeds, called catechin, can increase stem cell production in human bone marrow by 34%. So we're starting to introduce extra ingredients which supercharge the main ingredients, because the main ingredient here was horny goat reed or icarin, remember, and then we had resveratrol, and now we have grapeseed extract, which kind of makes those even stronger. So it's kind of like adding in new bonuses. And at this point, many people in the target audience were going to be like, oh, wow, cool. So not only do I get all those things, but this company specifically added new stuff into this proprietary product so that, we can actually have even better results with it. And it's powerful. And as I noticed, we don't spend that much time on it. We just highlight how, it makes the other ingredients stronger, and it just piles on benefits. Here's a little nice visualization element before, bad stem cells and good stem cells, and reminding people of like, hey, by the way, this stem cell restore product is the only product on the entire market that's filled with powerful, proven ingredients that can help grow new, healthy adults' repair stem cells. It has the right dosages of ingredients. Remember, your problem before was that you took too high or too low of dose. And it also helps with helping the stop and spread of bad dysfunctional stem cells too. So probably lowering your cancer risk, right? So Stefan Georgi even says it's the ultimate 1-2-3 knockout punch. And Stem Cell Restore still has 2 more remarkable ingredients for me to share with you today. Yeah, notice how we're not just plainly giving people features like, hey, here are the 5 things that are included, like so many other sales pages do. Instead, he takes the time to carefully provide an overview of these, provide a lot of scientific proof why they work, add some little extra unique mechanisms of how they actually help you and your stem cell problem, and how they actually make each other even more powerful. So then we get, introduced to ingredients number 4 and 5, which is black currant cocktail that keeps your bones stronger and for longer. So this is probably a big pain point in people, especially women who might have more osteoporosis, but even men, like they want stronger bones, they want, again, a healthier body, which can do most of the stuff that young people can do. And for this, we also included, blackcurrant, and we also included vitamin D, which is like, at this point, most people who are even remotely interested in nutrition know that, it's important to have good quality vitamin D in your life. And then notice how we only spend a short amount of copy on these last 2 ingredients. But at this point, we remind people of the new opportunity by saying that the future of anti-aging is in the palm of your hand. From this point on, we're going to start transitioning into the closing section as well. But before we do that, we still have a few things to take care of. So first, let me just read it to you. So at this point, you're probably asking how you can get your hands on Stem Cell Restore for yourself, along with how often you need to take it for best results. So what are we doing here? We are inserting our voice into the conversation that's already happening in their minds. This is an advanced psychology or copywriting technique here. You want to preemptively ask the questions that they are going to ask themselves. From here on out, we're going to seed the idea of scarcity, urgency, and again, taking that higher AOV offer, that higher tier version of the product, which means they're going to take more bottles. And this is how Stefan Georgi does it. So he says, to be honest, I wish it was easier for folks to gain access to this breakthrough. So this foreshadows scarcity. Because, as I've mentioned repeatedly throughout this report, my goal is to make Stem Cell Restore available to every American possible. This is the reason why. Especially those who are 50 years of age or older. This is the qualification element. And whose natural supply of stem cells is dwindling and becoming dysfunctional. Yet, while that's my goal, the truth is that because every single bottle of Stem Cell Restore needs to be produced in a pristine, state-of-the-art facility, then kept fresh through a special proprietary encapsulation process, which only a few manufacturing facilities in the world are able to do, it can take a very long time to produce every single bottle of Stem Cell Restore. So, yes, this is the reason why behind the scarcity itself. So obviously, if you have anything to do with marketing or selling, you know that scarcity and urgency is important. It's a key trigger that makes people buy, because otherwise people just default to doing nothing. That's what they do in most cases. But it's a great thing to give a reason why behind the urgency. Don't just say, hey, I'm including urgency here because I've read on a marketing blog that I should use urgency. People can see through it, and it's just a cheap shot, right? But this case, it makes sense. It makes sense that, wow, all these nice ingredients and all those scientific doses and all those research papers and everything, it makes sense that creating this stuff, it's complicated and expensive, and there's not enough, especially nowadays. Obviously, this was written before Corona, but nowadays, where we have a global supply chain problem, this is a big problem, and it's a very natural way to establish scarcity and urgency. So at this point, we also remind people of the benefits, like what they can get from Stem Cell Restore, while also back it up with a little bit of proof by saying, pretty much everyone who tried stem cell research keeps asking for more of the stuff. And then we have even more reasons why behind the scarcity. So saying that, since this stuff is becoming extra popular in the health profession, and since most people are smart and they are stocking up on several months of dosages, this stuff sells out really fast. And it's a wonderful way. The only way to really make this work is to foreshadow it and seed it before in the earlier sections of the copy. And we've seen this before. We've seen how and why. Now we understand why Stefan Georgi did this. Now we understand why he actually, seeded the idea of, hey, the government or big pharma doesn't want you to know about this, and a lot of doctors don't want you to know about this because it's gonna significantly reduce their profit margins and everything, and that's the reason why you don't know about this yet. But as a result, it's hard to source the ingredients, it's hard to manufacture it, yada yada yada. So that's why, this is only available in limited quantities. He even says, I frequently don't have any Stem Cell Restore available from the public. So this is also, it's in red, so it's there to scare people a little bit. So after that, we get a reminder of the personal reason why, plus seed the buying decision and opening a loop. So it might seem like a mouthful, but let's just see how it's done here, okay? But that being said, I also don't want anyone to stay awake each night worrying about what will happen if their bodies and their minds continue to fall apart. This is the personal reason why. Which is why, in the next few moments, open loop, I'll share how you can get your hands on a brand new bottle of Stem Cell Restore and how you can try it risk-free as part of our breakthrough new pilot program. But first, let me answer that other question. So we see the buying that, chill, everything is coming up soon, and you're gonna be a risk-free part of our breakthrough new pilot program. So this seeds exclusivity a little bit. And then we get to the one of the most important parts of the sales letter in terms of profitability. So even if this converts like gangbusters and people would just buy one bottle we're gonna find out eventually it's gonna cost $67 a bottle if you just buy one. So if that happens, even though it converts well, the business might still not be profitable, even with a sales letter like this. So it's extremely important to seed this higher tier version of the product, because if you can do that, then it's gonna just double or triple your sales, or even more, seriously. And you're gonna get way higher quality customers. And adding a few paragraphs like this is so important in that, because it's the reason why behind why you should take more. And it's not like you're trying to aggressively persuade people of, hey, buy more because special price goes away soon. Instead, you actually seed you actually implant the decision in their own minds. This is real life Inception, by the way. If you've seen the movie Inception, this is the real life Inception. How you basically ninja your way into the subconscious or just the conscious, like the decision making part of a person. So this is how Stefan Georgi does it. So how much stem cell restore do you need to take? That's simple. Just take 1 capsule each day for at least 30 days. The reason it's important that you take stem cell restore for at least 30 days, it's very straightforward. While the 5 stem cell activating ingredients inside go to work pretty much immediately, what all of those clinical studies have shown us, so we're not telling them, the clinical studies are telling them, is that the longer you take each of the ingredients inside stem cell restore, the more your body can benefit. For example, this is contextualization. As you saw in one study, taking Icarin, the number 1 ingredient inside stem cell restore, increased bone marrow stem cells by a staggering 230%. But you also saw that in another major study, taking Icarin full of 12 months was shown to increase the lifespan and health span of mammals. I think all of us would like to live a longer, healthier, more energized life for years to come. So it makes sense to keep taking stem cell restore day after day, month after month. So again, we are explicitly seeding the bigger package here. And then we also mention the pricing a little bit by saying, especially since the most stem cell restore costs is a few pennies per day. More on that in a second. So we show that you are very close to the price, but people want to find out the price, but we're not giving it to them just yet because we want them to consume a little bit more of the copy at this point. Okay, we just really want to make sure that everybody understands the reason why behind consuming more. Everybody understands the benefits. Everybody understands the proof here, and we also sneak in a few elements like gift from God. Across the US, people are calling the stem cell breakthrough a gift from God, and today this is your golden opportunity to join them. So this voice of customer data, in a sense, we know that people in this target audience, they're more likely to be Christian on average, and this definitely makes them feel like, yes, this is a divine sign that I'm reading this sales page right now. I want to give this a shot. So then we have some social proof, because at this point, we're still promising a lot, and some people might be like, yeah, but I don't know, what if this is a scam or something? What if this doesn't work? And then we have some social proof elements. No pictures, no nothing, just some quotes here with some more proof. And it's really everything, the whole package, the package of the sales letter, it builds a great case at establishing this whole stem cell restore product as a category of one. So Stefan Georgi even says, and you should know that this stem cell activating breakthrough is only available on this website while there are supplies in stock, and I'm able to keep this report online. So only available here, because at this point, if people want to just, I'm going to just go and buy Icarin for myself, it's probably cheaper. Well, no, you can't, because it would be very hard to combine all those ingredients, first of all. And secondly, it's not available anywhere else in this, neat package. Plus, supplies are limited. Plus, the powers that be don't want you to know about this. So if you're interested, you should take action now. These are a little bit weird, these conditions, and I'm also missing more testimonials because I haven't really seen that many testimonials in this sales page. I don't know why or something. There's a lot of proof with scientific studies, but I feel like maybe more testimonials could make it even better. I don't know why Stefan didn't include them. There must have been some reason here. And also these transitions are a little bit weird here. These are just, potential improvement opportunities. Who am I to critique Stefan Georgi? But most, good copywriters definitely are always trying to figure out how to make a promotion even better. And Gary Bensevenga always said that you should the best way to become a world-class copywriter is to study great ads and great control ads, every single day and find just one area where you could improve it. Well, I think that this could be improved by including more social proof, making this little transition part a little bit better, and also explaining how and why people shouldn't even try to create like their own proprietary blend on their own. So why they shouldn't go out and buy Icarin or themselves and resveratrol themselves and just mix it or something like that. I've seen a few promotions before from Caroline Anglais Cole, for example, who did a great job at just really working harder to disqualify any other potential solution to this. So I think that these three areas could make this even more powerful, but it's already so good that this is just pet peeves. So then we tie things back to the common enemy a little bit, and this also is going to be a reason why behind the urgency part, like, you know, people who make trillions of dollars off people, like, as we grow old, you know, they don't want you to know about this, and before actually revealing the price, the true price, we go one step further and just remind people of the dream solution one more time, like, hey, this is your life, this is how it's gonna look like after you start taking this. And right now, finally, we get to the price. We price anchored everything at $100,000 when we began the sales letter itself. You see, somewhere actually was here, like how the Hollywood elite, they're shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to get access to this technology, and now you can get access at a much lower price. And finally, we have like 3 price drops. First, we have a $2.49 per bottle, then it's like $1.49 per bottle, and finally, you know, we say that if you take action today, it's going to be just 70 or like 67 per bottle, right? So quite a big jump from $100,000, and you know, at this point, it really seems like a steal. And notice this little extra high-level advanced copywriting thing here. Stefan says, you can probably understand why my board of directors was adamant that I set the price of this breakthrough at $2.49 per bottle, which honestly I think is extremely fair, especially considering that the rich pay up to $100,000 for this. But this isn't about me making a profit on you. So what's happening here? Well, first of all, we have board of directors who are usually perceived as like greedy, and all they care about is profit. So we kind of establish as I said, the voice behind this thing, the personality as the good guy, and then the board of directors, you know, they're the greedy guys. And this just establishes our person as this really go-to person who's honest, who probably believes in God, and who is there to solve the problem of the target audience. Like in my previous video, I said that he's like Prometheus, who goes up to the gods and steals fire from them and gives it to people and gets banished because of this, or gets punished because of this. The same thing is happening here. Plus, you know, board of directors, it kind of adds an extra credibility element to the whole thing, because, woo, board of directors, this must be an impressive company then, right? So they maybe trust it more. But like, yes, we got the $67 per bottle, and, you know, this isn't the only thing that you get. You get some bonuses as well. So we get like the free subscription to our weekly e-newsletter, Aging Defeated, you know. Here's an overview. Here are a few fascinations, so that people, you know, you build some desire in people for this. But, you know, at the same time, remember, we're always reminding people of the higher tier version, saying that, you know, but so many of our studies have shown that the longer you take this, the more benefit you can have. And here's some proof for that. Before actually giving people the main call to action button, and this is the first call to action button. Think about it. Like, at this point, we mentioned the price 67, And most copywriters, 99% of copywriters would give people the link to buy. But not Stefan Georgi. He's like, nah, it'll be fine. First, let's just overwhelm people with even more value, like you get a bonus as well. And let's just remind people one more time of the higher tier version with the reason why. Like, hey, by the way, you could buy this at this price, but you know, why shouldn't you just buy the higher version? Because studies have shown that the longer you take it, the better. And because I want to help you, remember here it isn't about me making a profit on you. Because of that, we actually created like a super nice discount for you if you buy like a 5-bottle pack. So right now you can stock up on 5 bottles, and not only will you save $100, not only will we give you free shipping, but we're actually going to give you 1 bottle for free as well, which is another 67 value at no cost to you. Plus you get all these special reports, plus you get the e-subscription, plus I don't even know. Like you get everything here. Like this is the irresistible offer here, because at this point, if people are, even if they're just remotely interested, they're like, I mean, like, what else do I want? This will solve all my problems for $235. It will make me young again. I get all these bonuses. It's the deal of a lifetime. Boom. Start my order. And notice the nice call to action text, which says, start my order, which is a little subtle persuasion psychology element that basically says, it basically assumes that you're going to want to finish the order eventually. So you start it, and people are going to more likely to finish it. But obviously these things can be split tested eventually, and they are. But that's not all, finally people have a way to order, and they're more likely to actually order the higher tier version. Obviously we have lower tier versions as well. If they click this button, they get to the order form, which is its own mini sales page on its own. And if you're wondering why so much copy, this is what it takes to like make millions of dollars in a super competitive niche like health, and especially alternative health. This is what you need. It is what it is. Like, you gotta be a great copywriter. Unfortunately, if you're watching this video right now, you're probably well on your way to become a great copywriter or marketer or product owner, doing these things. So we get introduced to 3 more bonuses, all relevant to the target audience. The first one, how to triple your chance to live to age 100. Pretty cool. How to make yourself genetically 10 years younger. So this is another dream for the target audience. And then a new science of regenerative medicine. This ties in with the main product nicely. So then we have another call to action box, just also reminding people of the urgency. Here's what you get, just summing everything up. This is like a table of contents, like, hey, here's everything with a lot of specifics of like how much you save, what are the bonuses, it's free, and it's like, we've seen this before in Megalogs as well. Probably in Megalogs it was a little bit better done, especially like from a graphical point of view, but from a copy point of view, it's really good here. Start my order. Again, we have the call to action button. Then we have the risk reversal, which is not just a simple lazy way of saying, hey, if you don't like it, we're gonna give your money back. But instead, I like it how it's full of psychological triggers, this one. I'm not gonna read it now because the video is getting super long, but I definitely encourage you to read this because it's gonna increase your sales by quite a bit if you include a guarantee that also, explains why you're giving a guarantee, and even while you're doing risk reversal, you're still selling the product and highlighting the benefits and the urgency and stuff like that. So it's really powerful. One of the best guarantees that I've seen lately. Then we have another call to action button with some urgency, and then we're getting closer to the end. Actually, this is the end of the sales letter. We have some FAQ later as well. But from here on out, we have the so-called Crossroads clause, which is, it gives people 2 options. Either you do nothing and continue on your continue your imperfect life, or you take the smart choice now and you are going to significantly improve your life. And it's very, very apparent here. We also give people a little bit of fear. We take away the report. This report is now ending, and ultimately the choice is yours. And choice 1, the stupid choice, and choice 2, the smart choice. So are you going to be smart about it? Here's what you should do. So boom, call to action, then remind them of the urgency and scarcity, remind them of the guarantee, remind them of that there's no risk, and it's a win-win situation for you either way. And at the end, we give them the illusion of control by saying, ultimately the decision is yours, but I trust you'll make the right choice. So yes, technically, people want to be in charge of stuff. They want to have control. And yes, technically they do have control because they are the ones who are clicking the button and buying this. But we've done so much heavy lifting with this sales page that if people are here, they're very likely to buy this if they read everything and they got to this point. And if they just scrolling through, there's still a few key elements here reminding people of what to do actually. So God bless, again, very relevant sign off here, Lee Euler. And then boom, here's the call to action button again. So what I noticed, as I said before a few minutes ago, things that were missing, more social proof. I think it could be beneficial, and even more ordering instructions here. Maybe they're on the order form here, and I saw a few ordering instructions on the at the FAQ section. But these two, there was a transition somewhere a few pages up that seemed a little bit weird, and disqualifying all the other solutions a bit more, all the other very similar supplements or something. I think these could make this better, but obviously gotta test, and maybe this is just my own personal opinion. So then the sales letter is officially over here, but we still have the FAQ section, which, as we've seen before, is very important because a good sales letter is just like a real life salesperson. And what are most salespersons for? They answer objections to people. And that's why having a longer sales letter converts better, because you can answer more objections here. So, and also remember, many people, they won't read the whole thing, that's for sure. They're just gonna keep scrolling, and they scroll down to the price, and they scroll down to the sign off, to the button, they start thinking about it, and then they start reading these things. And we just reiterate all the key things. We just remind them of the key things here. First of all, we remind them of the unique mechanism, how adult repair stem cells are so important. Then we remind them of the problem of like, hey, as you go older, your adult repair stem cells decline, and that's the problem of aging. Then we give them a brief product overview so that they know what's up, what's inside the product. Then we do some more objection handling. You can include anything here. Common objections here in this market: no gluten, no soy, no artificial colors, good manufacturing practices, manufactured in the United States, no embryos, unborn children. This is a specific objection handling thing here because it's important for this target audience. So all objection handling things. We also remind them of the urgency, how the guarantee works, and what are the ordering instructions. I also would have liked another product overview of what you get. Something like you have basically here. Because a lot of people are scrolling, especially to the end, and they want to see all the bonuses, all the cool bonuses that they get. So I think it could have made it even more powerful if this section also included hey, by the way, if you buy this, you get an extra bottle for free, 3 special bonuses, free shipping, blah blah blah. So I think it could have made it even better, but it's still really good. And then at the end we have some references that I mentioned before. Whew. And with that being said, we're pretty much officially done with the sales letter. I think this was the longest sales letter that I covered during this challenge. It is a monster, that's for sure. But I think in a video from this would be like 1.5 hours, just like a documentary, to be honest. I don't even know, this is probably like 12,000 words long or something. But I hope you learned a lot from this. If you haven't watched video part 1 yet, now is you still have a chance to watch it. Link below. Also check out other proven sales letter breakdown videos. I have many similar offers from Paris Lampropoulos, Caroline Anglicol, Kim Krasishwan, David Deutsch, a lot of boardroom stuff, health offers from other people. And then also we have more classic stuff from Gary Halbert, John Colton, old ads which are still super relevant today. So link to those in the description. Go check it out right now. You're gonna learn so much about it. And also, if you enjoyed this video, then smash the like button right now. If you're new to the channel, then I encourage you to subscribe to it. And if you found this helpful and you feel like it could also help others, then I would definitely appreciate it if you shared it with others. Spread the love a little bit. Maybe they can also get great value from it, because there's not many of these out there to my knowledge, and it definitely helps people a lot. So thanks again for watching. 99th episode. We have one more, and I actually have to cover 2 more videos that I had to unfortunately pull off the internet because corporate fat cats don't want you to know about it, unfortunately, in real life. But I hope you enjoyed this, and see you in the next one.